Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Show with Sarah. And I apologize for the delay. It has been just a time in my life, trying to decide on what I'm doing and where I'm going and all those fun things. And in the midst of that, I decided to do a new theme, I guess it can be called, on my social media, where I've been discussing the topic of loneliness. And I have no clue what made me decide that this was the time to discuss it. But it's important, and it's something that can be very much overlooked, especially in the success business space, because we are just so focused on growth and getting to the next spot. And as a solopreneur, which I'm embracing, calling myself that more. As a solopreneur, it is really easy to get lost. I shouldn't say get lost, but forget the idea that we need to be connecting with other people, not for business and not to move and grow, but simply to connect. And if you are anything like me, you spend a decent amount of time, especially if you have a really specific goal that you're going after in your life, you spend a decent amount of time just throwing yourself at it. I just recently have gotten better with establishing quote office hours, because I used to be very much, if I'm awake, I should be working. If I'm not pulling in this much per month, I should be working. I need to be working at all times. And the truth is that um, there is a balance between when that kind of is true. If you're in a situation like me, where I am technically, like, my business is self investing, self sustaining. I Every dollar that comes in goes right into my keeping me alive and right back into my business. I don't have any funding, right? And so when we are in that position, it is very hard to stop and turn ourselves off, especially when we feel like we are fighting for our lives. Because half of us are. Last year, before I formally started the business as an LLC, I was getting into opportunity coaching and in transitioning my business from personal training to opportunity coaching, which is now performance and opportunity coaching. And when I was in that space, there were days where I needed to pay rent tomorrow, and I had not all of my rent money, right? And so when you are in that type of space, then freaking yeah, you are fighting for your life, and you should be working your butt off, right? And I hate to use word should, but you're working your butt off to make it happen. But even still, the minute that you have growth, so I've recently started hitting 10K months, which is insane for me, given that not even that long ago in this year, I was having a part-time job specifically because I couldn't cover my bills. Not a part, like, I have a part-time job now. I just started it specifically so I can pay debt down. So all of the money that comes in from my business goes to my business. And I'm not using it to take care of my life, right? I want to pay that down. I want to work on all of the adult things that I need to be working on. I do not need this job. Before, earlier this year, I needed a part-time job, which is super fine. And it's awesome. So many people have so many jobs these days. The point is that when I was in that space where every dollar matters, and I'm working so hard, and I'm trying to prioritize my dogs and an hour workout, maybe, mostly not even that, my dogs. I'm prioritizing them after job, clients, and then make sure I'm walking the dogs, right? And so because of that, I was not hanging out or seeing friends as often as I really needed to. I was not simply connecting with people. I was being technically kind of drained because I was only dealing with clients, which is an emotional capacity that is pretty up there, right? And so having time where I'm just sitting with people and I'm discussing life, or we're not discussing anything at all, we're just sitting and hanging out, just being able to receive a hug or word of affirmation or just support in any way, shape, or form, that was not as often as it needed to be. Because again, I was so, if I'm awake, I mean, I don't have time for this. I need to go find a new client because I need money right now. That was a lot of me. The reason why connection is so important beyond, oh, like, what do you do? Here's my card. Let's talk about this over drinks, blah, 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 is because you need to be able to take your foot off the gas and still be supported in some way, and have people around you that are going to identify that you need connection. You don't need brainstorming time and encouragement about your business and to talk business. I have a number of friends who are solopreneurs, and it is really hard to not be like, yeah, this is what's going on with the business and what's going on with your business. Let's talk about it. Do you have any ideas? I can help you bounce things off. I also have that time with my friends where we ping pong or we throw spaghetti with one another. But and to clarify, ping ponging and throwing spaghetti are my phrases for a type of interaction if you are seeking something. So if I say, I just need to throw spaghetti, it just means that I need to kind of like verbally vomit everything at you, and then we're going to see what sticks at the end. Or ping ponging is just, hey, like, I need your advice on this. Okay, what's up? I'm having a branding issue. Okay, have you tried this? I have, and I don't like it. Okay, blah blah blah, and like that's a nice ping pong session. And so anyway, so I have that time with my friends that are solopreneurs as well, but I also have time where we just laugh about stupid things. We talk about the dogs. We talk about relationships. We talk about the weather. I mean, like, we talk about upcoming things, and we also are able to vent the big things and discuss the big things, like, what am I doing with my life? And am I ready for this? Or I have this fear and I don't know if it's holding me back. Those are real things that need to be discussed. And the problem when we are not connecting, especially when we are someone who have very big goals and we're very focused on them, and they don't have to be owning your own business. It can be, I have a goal of running a triathlon. I have a goal of being getting on stage for a bodybuilding competition. I have a goal of learning how to throw pottery by the end of this month, whatever it may be. And whatever level of difficulty anybody may see it as, if it's big for you, it's big for you, right? But it can be anything. And the truth is that when we need to connect, we need to truly be able to set down everything and show up for a conversation that may be vulnerable or uncomfortable, or it could also just be really, really soft. And so I'm jumping all over the place, but when I decided to discuss loneliness on my Instagram, it was because I think I realized that I see really, really often a lot of people who are not connected, who are very disconnected, um, and not aware of it. And I've caught myself doing it 1,000%, where because I have become so self-involved, I forget to follow up with people who deserve to be followed up with. I forget to show up for people who need me to show up for them. Because I am self-involved. And so in order to get away from me, and my fears and my desires and my wants and my da, 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 I have to be able to connect with someone else to say, where are you at? What do you need? All those things. So talking about loneliness, I decided to go the path of, let's talk about the ways that we sometimes avoid feeling lonely, or aren't sure if we are feeling lonely, or if we're just feeling bored, or if we just need a good hug, or maybe we just aren't good at being alone. Maybe it's not loneliness at all. Maybe it's something else. Because as people who now, a lot of us work remote, a lot of us are self-involved because of social media and the day and age that we are in. Because as we get older, I think it actually becomes harder to connect because everybody is involved in their business or their career, their family, their spouse, their kids. People move. All of my friends are moving to suburbs, like, and so it's important to recognize that sometimes we may not be lonely. We may just need to implement certain processes. And I know that sounds not sexy at all. Especially if we're talking about something like, I am lonely, or I am not connecting with other people the way I need to, and I'm realizing that that's not helping me. It's actually hindering me. It can sound very unsexy to say. So I have a list of processes that I put into place, but I like to treat anything like that, loneliness, depression, oh goodness, busy season, I like to treat it all as a simple process. It is an issue that is potentially foreseeable, and you are able to implement certain things to ensure that you don't either spiral from it or get hit harder than you need to be by it. And so that can just simply mean that I ensure I get breakfast with, my best bud once a month. That's a thing that we do. And we have time to just sit there and talk and connect, right? I ensure that I talk to my neighbors at least 2 times a week, whether it's just when I'm getting the mail or if I'm leaving to go to my car. If someone is standing outside, I go, hey, how are you doing? And we just connect, right? I ensure that if I am starting to be like, man, I feel like maybe I am lonely, then I talk to people, I call people, I make a point of going and driving and spending time at someone else's home when it is an inconvenience to do so. I have a friend that lives about 30 minutes away, and to go and hang out with her is an inconvenience. But guess what? If I am in a position where I'm starting to feel like I don't know if I'm lonely, or if I just feel like I want to be around someone, or I feel like maybe I want to go on a date or make out or whatever it could be, because all of those things are valid, I will ensure that I implement a process that allows me to discover which of those things it is. Because if I am lonely, I want to make sure that I'm aware, yeah, this is loneliness. And maybe I need to prioritize dating when I really wasn't trying to. But right now, I'm so fulfilled with focusing on my business that if a feeling of loneliness comes up for me, I 9 times out of 10, it's not loneliness. Maybe I just am missing sitting without a schedule with some friends and having a great dinner and having some wine and just being able to sit and BS for 3 hours. Or maybe I need to be around a whole family and just feel kind of enveloped in that. Or maybe I need to go meet someone and make out a little bit. It could be other things. And so deciding to do this theme for social media, I think, came from a space of seeing how disconnected we've been, but then also recognizing how I've worked through different moments or bouts of loneliness, and how different it feels now when I am really so focused and also really good with being alone. I know for sure that I do want to meet someone when the time is right. At this moment, I cannot fathom how I would fit someone into my life because I want to be able to schedule my entire day exactly as I want to do it. I want to be able to say, I'm just focusing on the business and I just don't want to give this time or energy to someone else. And that's super okay. And it's super dope to be here. But I also have been there in the past where I've wanted to say that, but deep down inside, I really, really, really wanted a partner. And I know what it feels like to be lonely. And so as a solopreneur, we can forget that sometimes we're not lonely. We just need a hug, or we need a connection, or we need a night out, or we need to be in a different environment, or we need to stretch ourselves and spend time with people or friends or family or whatever, that we normally wouldn't because we're so engrossed in what we have time for. Or maybe we just need a one night stand. There's so many many options out there that can be real. And I just want to I wanted to record this because this space is more of my business people and my entrepreneurs and the people who want to face and discuss discomfort and fear and growth. My Instagram is that, but it's also more muddied, right? There are people who have just followed me for years and think the way that I laugh is cool. I don't know, but this space is a little different because I bring so many other entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and leaders onto this podcast. And so I felt like it was worthy, this topic was worthy of an episode because of the fact that as a solo entrepreneur, it is easy to forget to prioritize connecting for no career benefit. It can be hard if you are 4 days out of the week going to networking events to then on a fifth night say I'm going to go sit gonna drive 20 minutes and sit with a friend and just discuss life, right? Especially if you have a family or a spouse, you have to prioritize them, and it can get really tough. And so we all know that it's possible to be lonely if you are surrounded by people, if you're married, if you have kids, if you live right by family, it's still possible to feel lonely because loneliness can be different layers of things. And so as a solopreneur, this is your reminder that you may need to focus on and prioritize deep or real connection in all of its different forms. Schedule a date night if you have a partner. Schedule a sex night if you have a partner. Schedule that dinner with friends that will take 3 hours 2 weeks from now. Schedule the things that you know will help you show up your absolute best, because that's all it's about, showing up your best. So have a great night.